What it do, what it do, what it do, what it do. It is your friendly neighborhood coach, Chrome Antennae. And I've been on this take for like an hour. This is like my fourth take. But what makes this worse is I recorded it earlier. 20 minutes of yapping. Certified yapologist. A real yapper.
I'm like a certified yapper. 7 days a week.
And my mic was on mute. So, I'm a little bit done talking about this because I've been talking about it for so long. But we try again. This is, as you see in the title, technically about my 2K25 wish list. But it's more about ways I think 2K24 can improve going into the next iteration of 2K, which is 2K25. So, let's start again for the 1 millionth time. I'm not going to reiterate things that you can Google, by the way. I'm quickly going to tell you who the cover athletes are, and then you can look up the rest, on Twitter or what have you. But as you all know, the regular edition is Jason Tatum. The WNBA edition is Asia Wilson. Shout out to my girl, Asia Wilson. And the Legend edition is Vince Carter. You can pre-order it like as soon as today or tomorrow, something like that. Yes, I'll be pre-ordering it. Yes, I'll be playing it. I'd be foolish not to. I likely will have the early edition as well because, again, I have New Zealand Connects, Team New Zealand coach here. I love you all. Shout out to my Kiwis. And, yeah, I guess for me, before we even talk about 2K25, by the way, shout out to my team here that you see on the screen. Shout out to our boy Smitty, Nye, DC, Randall Hooper, and Chris. I know I told a couple of people who have been asking me to hoop that I'm not playing Prom anymore. And I'm not playing Prom anymore. But these are my IRLs. These are my dogs. We're playing maybe that one season TGA and then that's it. And then I'm done. Then I'm tucking it for the rest of the year as far as any like competitive play. I'm ready for NCAA 25 to come out anyway. Also, shout out to my opponents. My boy Icy Tane, BH Work, 504, and the rest of the guys over there. Anyways, let me get back to what we were talking about, man. One thing that 2K players love to do when it comes to these cover athletes is they try to guess the nature of the game based on the cover athletes. So you see Jason Tatum, right? Obviously one of the best two-way shot creators in 2K or in the NBA. Jesus Christ. Asia Wilson is the best WNBA player in the world. She's the best women's player in the world. And then Vince Carter obviously was putting it on people's necks. He's the best in-game dunker, best dunker, period, really. In history of basketball, or in history of the NBA anyway. So if you look at any of that as like keys or signifies for anything in particular about 2K25, it's shot creating is back. Defense should still be good because defense was good this year. Aside from the lack of blitz steals, we'll talk more about that later. Maybe women my players. I hope that that's the case. I hope they have women my players. And not just in the W, but in the park, the neighborhood, whatever you want to call it. Because I'm tired. Like first of all, it should have been in the game anyway. I don't know what took so long. And for anyone crying about immersion or realism, we have mech suits, robots, face paint, playing on volcanoes, playing underwater, a bunch of dumb shit. Like truly, or playing with football helmets on, with floaties on, just stupid crap, bro. Women should have been able to play in regular park modes, but I digress. And the third signifier hint is stick dunking is here to stay and will likely remain OP. Hopefully they balance it out better for 25 because it's overpowered, but it also isn't very logical in its use in general. You can ghost the meter depending on how you defend it, but then sometimes you can just dunk on 3 people if the first person's on your side. It's very strange, so something to be aware of. But the next topic for me, besides just guessing how the game is going to play, is the continued implementation and expansion of Pro Play. I think that's fantastic. I think it adds a specific uniqueness to each player, specifically star players. Devin Booker plays like Devin Booker, and Devin Booker does not play like Jason Tatum. And Jason Tatum doesn't play like LeBron, who doesn't play like Steph Curry. And I think those pro play elements really add a uniqueness and a flavor that we haven't been able to like achieve before. Now it's how can we implement pro play and also make it effective, right? Because later in the year, people will do some animation experiment. Oh my god! But the opener was so nasty. It got him in there. It was disgusting. Anyways, the thing with pro play is we can implement it, but how can we make it effective? For example, right? Once we get late into the year here, people start tooling around with stuff, get a little braver. You know, they stop playing competitive. Then we'll mess around with certain animations. Like for me, right? The James Harden animation is something I've always wanted to use since it was first dropped in like 2K16, 17, right? His patented double step back, his famous double step back. But it was never like really super effective. And this year they added the pro play animations where he does a crossbody double step back out of a dribble. And that animation in particular is incredibly OP. It's really quick, really fast. But if you don't practice and you don't put in the time to figure out those animations within that set, you'll never know what's in there, right? So one thing I'm hoping is that the pro play animations in the game are not just more accessible, but just more effective. We love that Paul George tween step back, snatch back animation that he has. It's only effective in very niche situations. Luka Doncic's step backs, right? Very effective in real life. One of the most effective shot types in his arsenal, in his repertoire of moves. On 2K, it's completely useless. It doesn't get no separation, like zero. And then there are other animations like Max Strus's pull up, Pascal Siakam's step back, where there's potential in the animations. You can see the potential in those animations that have been pro played, but they just don't have any real gameplay, not advantage, but usefulness, right? There's a utility that every animation has to have that they just don't. Hell, you look at all the point guards in competitive, they're not even using any real player animations. They're all using Pro 2. Pro 2 is the best pull up in the game, and top two most popular pull up in the game is between Pro 2 and Kobe Bryant. Besides that, no one's using anything else. But that's what I find a little bit bothersome, right? Because again, if you lab, then you know DeMar DeRozan's valid, Gordon Hayward's valid, Devin Vassell's valid if you don't use the strong hand pull. Klay Thompson is valid, especially if you shoot a lot of face pull-ups and forward pull-ups. These are all really good animations, right? But you'll never know because 2K doesn't even really encourage you to find out. And of course, some of this genuinely takes time practicing and labbing and doing some discovering. But it also takes... There should be some incentive to using the animations. I'm not saying like extra VC or nothing like that's ridiculous, but like they should all be effective to some degree. Max Strus, for example, and I'll have it on the screen here, is a starter 3 animation that's gate kept behind starter 3, and it's not worth it. Whereas the Patty Mills jumper is the best jumper on 2K by far. Was gate kept by starter 3 rep gates, and when you got it, you felt that it was worth it to grind for. That's how good it was. Same with the Michael Jordan dunk package, but dunk is so expensive you really couldn't. There was only so many players who were able to experience that Michael Jordan dunk package properly. But yeah, man, that's another thing too. I know post-draft is a terrible place, right? This is the point of the game where everybody knows everything about the game, knows all the animation abuses, know that Jimmy Butler is low-key a really good size-up escape package that nobody was using to start the game compared to Trae Young. and Kemba Walker. But Jimmy Butler's valid now. Whereas we was using Steph Curry jumper and Kyle Lowry's jumper and Cam Thomas's jumper in pre-draft. Everybody started 3. Everybody got patty minutes. Or if you didn't hit starter 3, you bought a starter 3 account. We know stick dunking is broken and very difficult to stop. And blitz steals don't work, right? We have all this knowledge that that we've acquired as a community, right? Which is good. But that also means that you're going to see the same thing from every player, every person. The baseline knowledge for every player is just the exact same. And you get no variety, nothing interesting visually, nothing. Like, I go out of my way to use different jumpers, different jump shot types, just play the game differently. I'm literally the only person in the corner in comp who uses Contavious Caldwell-Pope based on my luck. The only person. I'm the only person that I know of in post-draft that uses James Harden double step back on his shooting guard. The only person. I'm one of like 4 people who uses Ray Allen base, which is a starter 3 gate kept base, by the way. Which is it's a fantastic base, by the way. But T-Mac is still the best base in the game, right? So all you see is T-Mac and Patty Mills. Again, I'm not saying make other bases better. I'm not saying buff for the base, but I'm saying, one, you should almost nerf the effectiveness of T-Mac and Patty Mills, but also there should be a baseline buff to the effectiveness of every base in the game, man. There shouldn't be a base in 2K that is completely unusable, bro. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, you look at that. If you play now, right? Look at what's that kid's name? That plays for the Celtics. Hauser. Sam Hauser. He's a small forward for the Celtics, right? He be sparking that joint for the Celtics, right? But on 2K, his jumper is completely, and I mean completely unusable because of his upper when it hits you. Jamal Murray, one of the better scoring guards in the entire league, his jumper has a hitch in it. It's completely useless. Why? Why? That shouldn't be a thing, bro. There shouldn't be any jumper on a game that is so bad it is completely unusable. That makes no sense. So, I'm hoping with the continued expansion of Pro Play, there's more of a thoughtfulness into making these animations more effective. Luka Doncic's step back shouldn't be ineffective. Period. I'm sure in some niche situations that it works, right? But more often than not, it just doesn't work. And that's problematic to me. He's the best shot creator in basketball. Like what? I hope Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has his own animations. He's one of the best mid-range shot creators in all NBA. I hope he has his own layup package. Like, he just needs his own layup package, own pull-up, hop jumper. The dude's game is just gorgeous to watch. No matter how you feel about the foul bait, that's another thing. But he needs to have his own set of animations. Tyrese Maxey in his step back. Like, there's a bunch of players that deserve, like, not just their own animation sets, but like even buffs in their animation like packages. Like James Harden, he got one of the better floaters in the NBA, and he worked on that over the years. That we saw him put that in his game, and like during that series with the Clippers and the Mavericks, right? He killed us in one of the games of the series with like 6 straight floaters, bro. Like, I watched him all night, but he don't got a floater in his package. That's crazy. And another thing with 2K is, I'm not saying go back to old ways, but you can certainly implement old things into new 2Ks, right? So back in the day, I don't know if y'all know this, but you could implement and utilize old, like, you can specify how you want it to fade going to the left, how you want it to fade going to the right, how you want it to shoot a spin jumper this way, shoot a floater that way, and like really truly have some uniqueness to your mob player. That's not really a case. That's not really the case here. So, like, for example, I love Devin Vassell's pull up to the left. It's my favorite pull up going to the left. It's between that and Klay Thompson's, right? But I prefer Devin Booker's fade going to the right. I can't combine both of those elements to make my own unique dribble pull-up package, right? I also really like Kobe Bryant's pull-up to the right. But again, you can't combine those elements. I love Devin Vassell's forward pull-up, the really fast where he puts the ball damn near over his head. I also really like Klay Thompson's forward pull-up, but I can't combine these different elements to make my own unique pull-up package. That, to me, should be fully customizable. Again, I know Pro 2 is the best pull-up package for the assortment of animations in the game, right? Like, I know that's the meta gameplay. But for me, I just want uniqueness. I want something different. I don't want... Everybody's going to have the same build at the end of the day because people want to dunk, people want to shoot. Cool, got it, I understand it. But, like, can we make the game look different? You know what I'm saying? I think dribbling and the blending of dribbling should be more effective. You shouldn't be able to create space off of just one behind the back or one crossover size-up package and be done with it. I think the blending between speed boosting and dribbling should be more effective. I think you should be able to speed boost out of every animation, not just one or two. There should also be some ways to combat that defensively, of course, obviously. But it still bothers me to this day that the offense is faster with the ball than without the ball compared to the defense counterparts, right? Whereas in real life, you move faster without the ball than with the ball. But again, 2K has always been an offensive-minded game. I understand that. It is what it is. But there should be proper mechanics in place to combat any offensive buffs. Right? There should be a defensive counterpart to that as well. As far as other gameplay balance, one of my biggest issues still is rebounding is still very RNG. The ball physics in general is still very RNG-ish. The way that the ball bounces around the rim. The way that you can initiate box outs from a very specific place or from a very specific position. Like if you don't perfectly have your back to your opponent, you're not going to get a box animation. I think that's a little bit janky. We know rebounding battles and fighting for rebound positioning is so much more dynamic and physical than the game implies. And I think if you're able to add a physical element to that, then you add another skill level, another skill gap to the aspect of the game. And I think that makes just the game better. And I think it makes it a more enjoyable experience. That's one of the big things. Rebounding could just get so much better. And it's really frustrating to see how untouched it's been for the past, frankly, decade. Other things like badges I think are good baselines to work from. Physical handles, for example, is a really good badge. But it's kind of overpowered in the fact that if you don't have a movable enforcer, there's no real combatant towards it. And if you spam it in conjunction with bulldoze, you can literally run through people with no consequence. I think there should be some element of being able to overpower a weaker opponent. But if I spam physical handles, if I spam my shoulder charge with R2, there should be a risk for a charge call. There are no charges when using physical handles at all, pretty much. As a person who has a Hall of Fame. I also believe there should be some other ways to get some of the more physical badges and some of the more strict-oriented badges. Because like Kyrie Irving, for example, is a very physical ball handler. And uses his body really well while also having that joint on a string, right? And so there should be a way for him to have physical handles on gold or higher without being able to like necessarily run through somebody the way Giannis or LeBron would, right? And that should be done through, be it attribute caps. So the 80 ball handle, 84 strength to get Hall of Fame physical, right? Could be one thing. But also if you want to balance that, it's like, 82 overall between those two numbers? Then you could do something like, how do those numbers balance out in a more realistic fashion? Like a 94 ball handle and a 70 strength, right? I'm just spitballing, right? Man, that might be a little bit too much. But something akin to that, a 95 ball handle, a 60 strength to get gold, something to that effect. So like, not only do the big dribblers get it, but there's a uniqueness to having a really quick, really strong dribbler. Because Russell Westbrook should get physical handles, right? But it shouldn't look the same as the way Giannis would utilize that badge. And that's the type of thing that I want to see as far as like gameplay balance and badge balance and attributes having to work together, things like that. What else do I want to see in 2K25? More animations for wings and bigs. All the little bitty guards are all the best annies as far as pull-ups, step backs, spin jumpers, right? They got the wrapping around joint from last year. If we're gonna have so many attribute gates, one thing to me that shouldn't be a gate is height anymore. However, height should be gatekeeping certain attribute caps. So check me out. Hear me out. T-Mac is the best base in the game, right? But it's only worth 87 mid or 87 3 ball. That's pretty damn cheap, bro. If that's the very best base in the game, I'm sorry. That should be worth a 94 and above 3 ball. 94 and above mid range. If Kobe Bryant's a really good base, that requires a 90 plus midi. Kyle Korver is a really, really good base that nobody uses. That's worth 90. It's worth like a 93 ball, 93 ball, 90 midi. By T-Max 87, and that's hands down the most popular base, the best base in 2K24. You should feel it, and it should be that expensive to be able to use it. If we're not going to nerf it, everybody who's able to access it should pay the price for it. So if we know that's hands down the best base, make it a 94 3 ball requirement. So that way all these guards who have 91 steal, 92 3, 94 dunk will feel it. You understand what I'm saying? If Patty Mills is hands down the best base in the game, which it is, it shouldn't be less expensive than Steph Curry's base. Steph Curry's base is like, it costs you 92 midi or 3-pointer. That makes sense to me. He's the best shooter in basketball. But for some reason, Patty Mills has the best base in the game, and it's only worth an 84 midi or 3 ball. You know how cheap that is for 6'4"s? That's nothing, bro. And so again, to create balance, animations that are super OP like that need to be super fucking expensive. Michael Jordan's dunk package back in the day, way back in the day, used to cost 85 drive and dunk. Now it's worth 94 drive and dunk and like a 74 vertical. That's expensive, bro. You can feel it. That's why you've never seen it. But if you had it, you thought it was worth enough to spend those attribute points that we see on that. So I should be able to feel that if I get Patty Mills. If I gotta watch you chuck up crazy shots with Patty Mills, then you better be useless on defense. That's all I'm saying. If I gotta watch you chuck up 55 contestants with T-Mac, then you better not be able to have no 91 steal. 2K24, look, and if we're gonna have those things, right? Make everybody demigods. At that point, be honest with yourself. 6'6" were low-key demigods this year, bro. And if you knew how to make a proper 6'7" and above, from 6'6" to 6'10", you low-key had a demigod in your hands. If you were good enough at the game and able to balance those attributes, you got an 80 midi, 80 rebound, 80 block, 60 steal, which is enough to like make something happen in the lanes. Like, I'm not trying to rewrite the history of the game, but like this is something I've noticed. That's a thing. But I've ranted too much about that. Also, I feel sorry for bigs, man. If you were a big man in this game, you got no annies. We got to fix that, bro. Give my shot creating post corner big men some more animations, brother. Please. Also, there's not enough post fades in the game. Not enough post hooks. Not enough post hops. That needs a full overhaul, a full revamp. That's a whole. And 2K has done such a good job of implementing and adding a pivot system, a triple threat system, scoring without a dribble. Like, they added so many great additions to the game that you think they have more post moves in general. Fix that, please. Get that straightened away, because I feel bad for any big man that wants to play in the post and be unique and be different. They're not going to get rewarded for animations, be it start of 3 gatekeeping or just animation unlocks. You get 4 jumpers that are worth a damn. That's crazy, bro. That's nasty work. And one of them was Eric Pascal, who's 6'5". He's not even big. He's not even big, bro. You only get that jumper because he plays power forward, but he's not a big man. You can look that up. Like, come on, bro. Dude, I'm sorry, he's 6'6". I just tell you, there's a lot of ways that the game could make some, can fine-tune some elements. Because again, 7-footers can't get a 94-3 ball anyway. Then you can't glitch T-Mac on a big man like that unless you go through 2K support. That's the way you gatekeep those annies, while also not punishing other players or punishing 6'5" height, for example. If Jaylen Brown, one of the best school layups in the game, and all it requires is an 88 layup, anybody should be able to get it. That's all I'm saying. And if we're gonna have height-based caps, by the way, him hitting that 3 is crazy. By the way, but having caps based on height, we need to have more animations in all height categories. Then, especially wings and bigs. If you're gonna do that, wings and bigs need more annies. One more thing. We need more realistic hoop venues, man. I'm tired of seeing volcanoes and waterfalls and dinosaurs and dragons and robots and face paint and football helmets and swim floaties in my fucking basketball game. You know what I want in my basketball game? Word to exhibit. I heard you like basketball, so we added more basketball to your basketball. I want more gyms. I want more hoop venues. I want more courts. I want more gear oriented to basketball. Can I please get an NBA NBA team shooting shirt to wear, bro? Why is it not in the game? Where are my Nike socks? Where are the things associated with hoop in the hoop game? I don't want to play with animated shorts. I don't want a biker helmet on my damn head. You know what I'm saying? Like, if swag and fashion is such a big thing in the NBA, which it is, give me more chains. Give me a grill. Like, give me anything, bro. Anything. Let me hoop in slides. Where the slides at? Where the Crocs at? I'm just saying. If we're going to be doing all this extra shit, give me things that actually happen in hoop in the game. But more importantly, more specifically, give me more venues to play in. Give me a 4v4 court. If I'm going to play rec all day, can we wear street clothes in some venues? Maybe there's a day dedicated to street clothes. Maybe it's every Saturday. Y'all add fucking Club 2K every Friday night. We can't have shirts and skins in the rec every weekend. And then jerseys every Monday through Friday. There are ways to implement things to make the game more visually appealing and more basketball oriented. I get it. I get kids play it. I get it's a kids game. But the kids are playing the basketball game to play basketball. They're not playing the basketball game to skateboard, bro. They're not playing the basketball game to drive around GTA. Because I promise you, if they wanted to drive around cars, they'd get on GTA. But I've been writing about that for years now. It is what it is. I've been on a whole fest. I talked to this whole damn game. I was going to do that. Oh my goodness. I love you all. I'm your friendly neighborhood coach. Please don't be racist, homophobic, or transphobic. Kiss with consent. I love you all. And there's only a few days left till Instantly 25 drops. I might drop a Dynasty tier list. I'm very, very excited for that. All our Dynasty might be happening too with my homies, but I'm super lit for that. And that content will be coming soon on this channel. I know I do 2K and FIFA, but this game I've been waiting for 10 years of my life, bro. I was a literal child playing this game last. So we lit. Anyways, we out of here. See you soon. Peace. Streams too. Streams too. Alright, I'm out. Bye-bye. Of course, I have to mute. Nigga, shoot.